Greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Also, tour Sierra Leone. We have one more spot left. Again, we have one more spot left. If you're interested in rolling to Sierra Leone with us, please hit me up. Go to Danfo, DANFO Africa, Danfo.Africa, not donfo.africa.com. Go to donfo.africa. Send me a message and I will respond and we'll get you guys up and running and up and rolling to Sierra Leone. Also, if you have your DNA results from African ancestry, which that traces you back, links you back to Sierra Leone, you are eligible for citizenship. Again, you are eligible for citizenship. Without further ado, we got our Uncle Kala's on with us, everyone. Uncle Kala is in the building. Asiatic born. Thank you, brother. Hit that like button, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. And today's topic are because Kala, they talk about white flight, but they don't talk about black flight.
Oh yeah,
Because there was a black flight
yeah,
that's
and
still going on today.
back in the '90s, right?
But hey,
No,
Kyle, let me interject real quick. And then once these communities start gentrifying, the people who left start complaining more about gentrification than the people who stayed in the inner city.
it's all guilt. It's all black guilt and stuff like that. Like I said, all right, this is going to be a very controversial show, right? It's going to make a lot of people upset. I'm going to say some things tonight that people are not going to like. But you know me, I don't give a damn, you know?
Mhm.
Here's the problem, right? Black people, let's start from the beginning, right? We've always been looking for what? The promised land, you know? Black people heard about a place in Nicodemus, Kansas. Remember that? The Kansas Exodus, right? Place I could own land and be happy.
Mhm.
What happened in those places? At one time, they were thriving communities. We built thriving communities in America for hundreds of years. But what happens is, right, we only live on the excess of white America. White America provides a few jobs. We thought Gary, Indiana was the promised land, you know? Gary, Indiana had once nice communities, you know? Compton, California. We thought Compton, California was the promised land. Compton is a suburb, you know? People don't realize that. Can you imagine you're moving from the Watts and all these places, whatever like that, instead of going to public housing, you could finally afford to buy a house in a suburb of Compton, right? It becomes majority black. You think you're safe. And did it turn out like that? No. What happened was all the problems of South Central and all these people followed in places like Inglewood and all these other places. You know, it followed them. It followed us. You know, followed us into these places. The gangs, all the stuff like that, followed the gang culture and everything, followed and stuff like that. So Compton became even more dangerous than South Central Los Angeles. You know, so in other words, basically now, right? And I'm not trying to blow up anybody's spot, right? There are as many black communities in America that you probably don't know about that are thriving right now, right? Thriving. But the reason why you don't know about it because they're well hidden. Them type of Negroes don't want a lot of other Negroes to know about it. You know, the suburbs has become a refugee camp for black people who just want to live a basic life. You know, but let me ask you something. Is that too much to ask for? Is that too much to ask for? There's
No,
black
not
people
at
who
all.
say, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is, though, what do we say about black people who live in we call them what? Bougie, you know, uppity. They don't give back. Well,
Sellouts. Yeah.
come back and give something to the hood and whatnot. And I
Yeah,
even
cut
heard
back and get to the community.
you get community. The community needs your help. Y'all out there living a good life, but the community needs your help. And I even heard one thing. What one guy said, "Yeah, man, making threats. Black males making threats. Said, yeah, we're gonna go out in the suburbs and we're gonna take some of them bougie niggas. We're gonna rob them and we're gonna like this. This is what's going on. So if you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. Now, my whole thing was I saw this happen decades ago. You know, I saw this happen decades ago. I said, as long as there's despair in large segments of the inner city and everything, the black suburbs are never going to be safe, right? The only safety, right? The only safety is, right, is take the power away from the inner city as like the black homeland, you know, and replace that with a Pan-African thing. make Africa, the mother continent, the homeland. They said, well, aren't you cutting off it? No, it said that we could together, the black in the suburbs, black in the city, could work together on this something new. Because I don't think that we're going to return to the inner cities, right? I don't think we're going to return to the inner city. I think that's done, right? And I don't think a large numbers of black people moving out to
Hey,
these.
Kyle, if I can interject real quick, and hold on, I want to pull this up for you guys real quick. So the neighborhood I live in Atlanta, right? Hold on, let me.
Diane, I'm surprised Atlanta's not on the list of top 12 communities. I'm surprised.
Well, Kyle, I've been telling. Hold on, Kyle, I've been telling people this idea that Atlanta's the black mecca. I mean, I don't know where that came. Like, I get it. Like, I somewhat understand where it came from, but those days are over.
Yeah. And also, a lot of black people in Atlanta, they make like $50,000-$60,000 a year. That's a good black income, right? But you got places.
But not for Atlanta anymore. No, I'm about to show you something, Kyle.
Yeah.
I don't make it $56,000 a year in Atlanta now.
That's nothing.
That's damn near minimum wage now.
It is minimum wage, You're muted, Diane. You're muted.
I was saying, go ahead, Colin.
No. What I'm saying is this. So therefore, let's say 20, 30 years ago, if you made $50,000 a year, two income, a husband and wife, that was good money. You bought a house for under $100,000, right? Remember back then, houses were. I remember back in like 10 years ago, nice suburban housing in Charlotte, North Carolina, were only going for $50,000. And you'd be hard pressed to find someplace now under $300,000 for a house, And so therefore the wages and everything had to stack up. This is what Black America's facing with. Addition to the fact that we're not marrying and combining incomes like other groups of people are. So you don't have two incomes coming in buying a house as a family unit, right? Like you see with the black immigrants, the Mexicans, and everybody else. They come in as families to buy a house. Usually it's a black person trying to buy a house, right? So, okay, I'm gonna look big, and then some woman's gonna marry me, or some sister's like, I got this good job, so I'm gonna buy a condominium and everything. I'm strong, independent black woman, everything. This is destroying our communities, right? But like I said, the communities with two stable homes and everything like that still exists in Black America, right? They don't really want anything to do with this toxic culture that's eventually going to destroy them. And I was actually shocked when I thought Atlanta had all this income and stuff like that, and it was not the case. When I was doing my research, I said Uniondale, New York, and Maryland. I thought Virginia was on par with Maryland. It's like Maryland, black people in Maryland are killing it.
Hold on. Let me show this to you guys real quick. So. Right. So I moved. So the community I live in, the neighborhood I live in, called the West End. I bought my home over here. Purchased my home here in 2014. People are like, "Dinus, it's the trap. It's the hood. Don't do it." Pookie and Ray. Listen, there's a house under contract from me. So I bought my house in 2014 for $185,000. In 2014. Kala, there's a house. Hold on, there's a house under contract right now. Hold on one sec. Around the corner from me. Hold on one second. Let me put it right here. Kala, there's a house under contract around the corner from me for $750,000. And in fact, it got no, I take that back. It's under contract for, I think, $900,000. So offers came in $150,000 more in asking price.
There's no way.
Kyle, I've been asking people, who in the hell are affording these homes? Because even if you make $100,000 a year,
that's
a
not
$750,000 house, and Kyle, in my neighborhood, let me go back real quick. I want to say it's under contract for like $900,000 in my neighborhood. Caller, let's go back. West End, where I live. Diners, it's the hood. It's the trap. Don't do it. Okay, house under contract around the corner from me, $650,000. House under contract right by me, not too far, $625,000. Adair Park, adjacent neighborhood, $624,000 active. House, Oakland City, which was the worse than the West End, $619,000. West End community I live in.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, right? And something has to give, Dynas, right? Like I said, something has to give. Now in Jamaica, South Jamaica, Queens, where I was born at, right? We have people, my family still out there. They have like 2 and 3 houses paid off. They paid off, and the houses are going for like a lot of money, but people aren't selling. People staying there. There has South Jamaica, Queens hasn't been gentrified yet, and it's been like a lot of years since this has happened, and it still haven't happened yet. But people are holding on to properties worth millions of dollars and everything. Now in Brooklyn, it's different. People are selling their brownstones, making that money, and moving back down south and stuff. And so, like I said, we had the bubble of 2008. I don't think we recovered from that bubble, that housing bubble in 2008. The same thing's happening now. The rest of the country seems like it's recovering from that, right? And starting off flat. But black neighborhoods, for some reason, are because many of them where they're located in the center of the city. They're located near large metropolitan areas. So you got to say something, Dinus. There's a black black speculation and white speculation, right? White people speculate that the neighborhood is going to be 99% white. So this neighborhood is basically, they're speculating that 99% of the neighborhood is going to be white. That brings the value of the property up, or the demand for the property up. At the same time, if you speculate that a neighborhood is going to be 90% black, right? The prices will be small, and you won't get the loans, and it'll be a projected to be a crime-ridden area. The whole thing is, what we have to do is we have to basically change the narrative of Black America. We can no longer afford the Pookie and Ray Ray, the hood, Bequisha culture. It's killing us, It's killing us. Even though people say, well, the majority is not like that. But this perception of it, we got to get back to, I don't know what it's going to take, because this is just evidence right here that everyone's betting on white. Everyone's betting on Indians. Everyone's betting on this new America. Does not include Black America. This new America, when they put these houses up here, there's going to be rich Chinese from overseas. There's going to be rich Europeans, rich white Americans. It's going to be a whole new flavor. You're not going to recognize the community anymore. Why? Because they're betting on white. They're betting on white to change everything. White makes everything all right. And we have to understand that, the culture of Black America, our culture has to change. And so, therefore, we've been led down to think we've let too many times where the Black people who had the education, who had the background, who should have been leading us, like the Maynard Jacksons and everything, should have been leading us, right? We let the dumbos and idiots lead us into poverty, broken homes, and single motherhood and everything. And this is the price we're paying for this. This is the price we're paying for this, because nobody's betting on Black. I mean, people took a chance with us back in. I remember, and you go to in Suffolk, Virginia, right? There's a Black neighborhood. I mean, it was cute. It's like I could see I see where they're getting at. The house was built back in like the late 60s, early 70s, right? But it's a suburb, right? And these Black people are just so proud. 'Cause I go out there, I sell insurance. I go out there, and people got their typical white Jesus, John F. Kennedy picture, Martin Luther King on the thing, and all of a sudden they'll show you every house, man. The kids in the military and everything, proud and everything. But these houses are small. Some of them are brick made and everything. But when you look at the overall plan of the community, right, it was definitely made just for Black people. It was to give Black people a middle class thing. The houses are okay. Some houses are ranch style. Some houses are 2-story. But the small houses, small like a quarter acre a lot, whatever. And you have a nice lawn and everything like that. So you have rows and rows of these houses, and it's all Black in Suffolk, Virginia. And I'm saying to myself this, and the majority of Black people there worked at the peanut plant and everything. They worked in the shipyard. They worked in the military. You was able to buy a home, and then you got grandkids, everything. It was a home, Then you got Black people who want to move out to Virginia Beach and Chesapeake and buy bigger homes, general homes, and everything. There's Black people who still stayed in those communities, right? I don't know if those communities are ever going to be regentrified. I think that's just those communities right there, just Black and everything. But these properties right here, it seems like Black people didn't know what they really had,
Man, Collar, this was all Black. And Collar, not even that, to add insult to injury. When I first moved to my community in 2014, when I say the majority of these homes on my street and in the area were blighted, trap houses, people selling them for $30,000, $40,000. It's unreal to see where we're at now, 8 years later.
Yeah. So
And like I said, I bought my house fully renovated for $185,000.
that's good. That's good. And so basically, what happened was it's black sellouts and white people came in and said, "Look, and let me tell you, I learned something like this. 'Cause I tried to get into real estate one time before, and a real estate developer, one real estate guy from this real estate company called I forgot I forgot the name of it. Right? He said the future of real estate is not going to be about trying to protect these white communities and everything like that. Right? What they're going to do is like this: anybody who has a cash, right? Anybody who has a cash, not
Hold on one second, Hold on one second, Hold on one second, caller. Hey, Trina, you got a lot of background noise going on.
Trina, what's going on, sister?
Hey, can you hear me?
We hear you, but you got some background noise going on. If you can cut it off, whatever you got
Oh,
going.
okay. Can you hear me now?
We hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say this. Hello, how you guys doing?
Hey.
I just want to say I don't think there's enough promotion of Black communities because they're out there. I live in Texas. I live in San Antonio. This is not the city, but Dallas and Houston, they have a lot of thriving Black communities. There is a video talking about like the thriving Black communities here in Texas that was made last year, the year before. Dallas and Houston, they are really doing it. If you go to like Dallas, DeSoto, Texas, it's like 68% Black, and like 51% of the businesses there are Black owned. So it's not enough promotion.
Well, let me ask you, Sister Trina. Let me ask you, with all respect, right?
Yes.
The people of DeSoto, Texas, I don't think they really want to be promoted, right? Because DeSoto, Texas, nice black suburb, right? But guess what's going on in DeSoto, Texas now? You got Bunquisha and Pookie and Ray Ray are coming out there and they're turning shit up, man. And this one lady, I showed Diane this video, right? This sister was like, "I'm a single mother," right? She was like telling these kids are talking about gangs and everything like that, and the gang, the culture, the hip hop, the culture is taking over. She's like, "What are y'all gonna do?" And the administrator is like, "What do you want us to do?" I don't know. Then also, I talked to the lady who put the video up, right? I said, "Well, where's her father at?" And she goes, "Mr. Genesis, the father's in the life and whatnot." I said, "Well, why are you asking them to provide mentorship for your son?" I guess people move out to DeSoto, Texas. They thought they were getting away from all that, and so the same problems of youth violence and everything is following them out there, So no matter where we go and everything, this problem of dysfunction is going to follow us. And what happens is, as soon as opportunities, same thing that happened in Compton, California. As soon as somebody gets murdered and the police don't solve it, and there's gang violence, gunshot, people saying, "I'm selling my house, I'm getting out of here," and they move to the whitest neighborhoods. Black people, like I said, the suburbs are a refugee camp. Because we cannot function among ourselves for some strange reason. And look at the Jesse Smollett situation right now. The powers that be in Black America, Roland Martin, everything, got Jesse Smollett released today. It was an injustice what this guy did. This guy did.
You said he got released.
He got released today. He got released pending appeal. It's a joke. And these are the people. He committed a felony. He produced a hoax, cost the city $120,000 and everything, right? But it doesn't matter because the people that control Black America do not care about crime. Then they worry about gentrification. Well, when we do have Black police officers, when we do have Black prosecutors, why aren't you prosecuting? Why aren't you thinking that the Black criminal and all these people are a threat to your life? Because they don't. They'll let your property gets damaged, the house broken into, your daughter raped or assaulted or everything. Then you say, "You know something? I had it. I'm moving out where I can live peace of mind." Or they tell us, "You just got to stay in these communitize and just take it." You see what I'm talking about? This is why these communities are empty.
I understand what you're saying. That's true too. I just figured there's just not enough promotion, and we're not what they used to say back in the day, buy the block. Why are we not buying back our neighborhoods?
Okay, let me ask you something.
What about the opportunity
Let me
zone?
ask you something,
The
Sister Trina.
opportunity zone
Sister
we're
Trina,
not in it.
Sister Trina, let's define we. Okay,
Okay.
let's define we. All
Okay.
right, now when white people say we're gonna buy up a community, you know what they're gonna put them in? They're gonna put young white couples or whatever, and they know these people are gonna build a community. Just put them there. Next thing you know, they're gonna have a high school. They're gonna have
And Kyle,
university,
Kyle, if I can
everything.
interject, when we say buy back the block, we gonna rent Section 8. Find you a Section 8.
Section 8 house. And then
Find you a
so you say
Section
buy
8
back the
renter.
block. I don't want to live around that shit. Get the hell out of here. I got to put an extra budget in my bank account set aside for my cars my tires getting or my California converter getting cut off, and then the night and everything. It's just truth. This is truth.
I know what you're saying, but they have these opportunities. But I'm just wondering why Black people in general, even middle class Blacks or Blacks with money, are not investing in opportunity zones. Do we know anything about? Because when Trump was in office, didn't he sign an opportunity zone?
Yeah, well, a lot of times Black people didn't know that was going to happen.
Well, no, let me interject, Kyle, because Trump did it, Black people didn't want it because Trump did it.
Okay,
That's why.
Okay.
Black people didn't want it. So bottom line is, and also it takes this thing. A guy comes along. Right now, I'm no fan of Donald Trump, right? But he comes along, offers you something, say, "Look, man, the reality is." It also, this is another thing, Dinus, right? Remember when Trump said, to the Blacks? Remember that he first time the president ever spoke directly to the community. He recognized there was a Black America. First time I think Kennedy said something vaguely about that, but the first time. He didn't use that, oh, we're all Americans, so you don't have to address Black people separate, right? He said, Black America, what do you have to lose, right? He said, we got to do this and everything. He was a realist. And so the people who believe in interracial marriage, like Whoopi Goldberg and everything, there is no Black community. Black is disappearing. There's no such thing as Black. My kids are mixed and everything like that. That's the wave of the future. There's no Black family. Billy and Todd are going to have a new Black family. Mary and Sally, a new Black family, all this stuff that they're trying to promote in destruction of Black America. Who is Black America anymore? Yes. So we have the destruction of the Black family, the Black middle class, the Black family structure, and everything is on the line. So we chose to basically say, okay, I agree with the liberals. Right? There is no Black. Don't talk to us. Just talk to us as Americans, right? Okay. He tried. He said, look, you guys need to do this. We need the job training programs for your youth, right? Why? Because he said these young guys out here. Trying to doing 250 rappers murdered in the last year. If those brothers would have went out there and got trade and skills and education, they would have a very productive life. And the destructive, and also right now, the only incentive is basketball and a thing for our youth, right? When I say that, say all of them, right? So if that's a dominant thing, right? The culture that thing. I was at a traffic light yesterday, right? A guy, right, driving a nice Black guy driving a nice sports car, around my age, right? And I'm listening to the lyrics of this guy saying, "Yeah, because I don't know who it was, right?" He was like, "Yeah, because I get the money, right, and I put bodies up there. I don't know." And that was the longest 30 seconds of my life when this is what's going. This is the culture. This is what we're feeding each other every day. A culture of death and destruction, everything. How are you going to build a community where everything you're doing is about death, destruction, and dysfunction? A community has to function. And there's no other way. There's no way of getting around it. You can have all the reparations you want, right? But if the community is dysfunctional, right? This dysfunctional, nothing's going to work. It's only going to make it worse.
I just have one thing to say about that. You were saying if like those rappers would have got a skill or a trade, but entrepreneurship is like coming up. I don't think it's pushed enough in the Black community. It's now coming up a little bit, but why are we not pushing entrepreneurship?
Oh, let me ask you that, Sister Trina. Let me ask you that, right? Do you know that the majority of Black money that's made in America traditionally has always been blue collar? Blue collar. The Black urban communities traditionally in Detroit and everything, they far outpaced the Black, even the Black elite class of Prince George's County and everything. You go to New York and Jersey and everything, you got Black people in skilled trades that make it $100,000 a year with a pension and everything, right? Not everybody could be an entrepreneur. Your entrepreneur is your exception, your excess. I run a business, right? I ran several businesses. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish that on. It's just not, you're going to lose more than you gain. And when you entrepreneur, you have something to back it up. The people who are entrepreneurs, they got families helping them. They got families starting them off with a house to live in. They got families starting them off with credit. They got something like that. You just can't just be an entrepreneur and everything. We need basically, for the most part, right? What we need is Black people need good jobs right here, good jobs, right? And we need to support Black people who are entrepreneurs, right? But that doesn't happen. Everywhere we live, right? Everywhere we live, we make money, and white people take it back. Now, I'm saying to myself like this: do you have a Kroger where you live at? You have a Kroger? You guys have Kroger, the food
No, I
store?
have HEB. I have HEB. I'm in Texas.
Okay, all right. Now,
Kroger.
Diane has
Yeah,
Kroger.
Kroger.
I love Kroger, everything like that, right? Right. Remember Winslow Johnson? What's his name? That guy that played in Stella Guy group back with something like that. Winslow.
Yeah, he played in with
Get on the bus.
Wayne Dixell.
Yeah.
He played in Wayne Dixell.
He got Wenzel. Well, he had the brand idea, right? Good brother, right? To open up a grocery store, right? And I think we're gonna have fresh food. It flopped. He didn't understand the logistics and the complexes of operating a grocery store. You only got a timetable. You buy fruit, right? You only got like 5 days before you got it like that. Big companies like Kroger has got millions of dollars allotted, right? Just to basically make sure that fruit stays fresh and everything, So while we say we want to open up a grocery store and everything, and then nobody in the community cared, they said this is a Black only. People weren't coming in. They said, "Look, man, I like the convenience of the prices that I pay in Kroger and all these other places, right?" So you got to be mindful of that. You got to be mindful of that. Some things we have to just take the L on. Supermarkets, grocery stores. We're not concentrated in the Black community enough. If we were the type of community we were 50 years ago, it might work, right? When we were all together. There was some sort of this sense of Black love, as Cornell said. There was Black love and community and everything like that. We support the Nation of Islam. We went to go. People would go to the Shabazz bakeries in Harlem, everything like that, and get Muslim fish and bean pie and stuff like that. We're not that sort of community anymore. So the only community we have is online. The Black people in America don't really speak to each other. Everybody's online. Black power, Black power. Whatever. When you walk down the street, you see another Black brother. You're like, oh.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? I said, man, didn't I see you on YouTube last night talking Black power and everything? You pull up at the gas station. Hey, aren't you? Yo, I have a PhD in Negroology. We talk one thing online and we live another. How do we do that? How do we think? It's all called real with ourselves, being real with each other. And then we can get back that Black love and that Black fellowship, respect each other, learn to respect each other. We have this thing where it's toxic. YouTube is toxic, man. I look at these guys on YouTube, they're going at it left and right, and nobody's talking about building. All the people that have all these views, these platforms and everything. All right, anybody talk about building a community? No. This guy's trying to take down this guy. This guy's trying to throw shade at this guy. This lady's trying to talk to her like this, Nobody's talking about building. The times we are together, what are we doing? We're fighting. We're not talking about building. So how is this going to happen when we do have the platform? We do have the means to talk and everything. And so, remember that girl Erica that was on O'Shea Duke Jackson's show? Remember Erica? She was a boy that did.
Yeah, Erica. Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
We forgot all about her, huh? We forgot all about her. She was about getting people's credit scores, jobs. She was frustrated because nobody.
Erica Williams.
I think whatever happened to her.
I subscribe to her channel. She's still on YouTube. I subscribe to her channel.
Okay, so the bottom line is we don't see much of her. She's out there a fighter, trying to help people get their credit score and stuff like that, and it gets frustrating because she says when some guys come around her because she's a woman and whatnot, their pride and whatnot. She'll look, man, you can get your trucking thing, you can get this skill, get this job, be on your feet. Every time you empower a Black person, that's one more Black person and Black woman that's going to buy a home. That's one more Black person you can steer to build in this neighborhood you're trying to build, But we can't build it, talk about we're going to buy up the block, and 90% of the people on Section 8. That's not going to work. You see what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, Gina. You've been listening to me for years. You know what I'm talking about. You cannot do this, if we don't want to get rid of dysfunction. Now, we have to also basically say, and going forward, right, that being functional and productive is also being Black. You know, there's nothing wrong with you having a degree, job, and live a clean, law-abiding life. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to have all these problems, right, and everything, pathologies, to be considered black. And sometimes, like I told Diane a long time, I said, look, if we didn't have problems, would we even know each other? We would know each other. We wouldn't even know each other. Like, I don't know, you know. We get around ourselves. Who am I? Because we've been so taught that we're just so down now. There's a black man who has $1 million sitting in the bank. He's black too. You know, he thinks like you and I do and everything. But the bottom line is we don't accept him because, oh, yeah, he's bougie, whatever like that. You don't know what he's going through. You don't know what his beliefs. So so in other words, you're gonna discredit his blackness because he don't fit your term. Remember that episode of Fresh Prince? Remember that with Carlton?
Yeah.
Remember that Carlton?
And they tried to say he wasn't really black, and he broke down and told him everything.
He goes, I'm running through the same. Carl, I was shocked when I first saw that. Right? He goes, I'm running through the same hurdles, jumping the same hoop. Why are you tripping me up? You know, and then speaking about that, they remade the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Carlton was doing coke.
Hillary Banks is gay.
Yeah. Who's gay?
I think Hillary Banks.
Yeah. Also, Ashley is Ashley I think was gay. You know, I don't know what it was.
Well, yeah, well, I don't.
And then Uncle Phil is a dishonorable, a crooked judge and everything. So basically, what they're doing right now is they're taking everything that we believed in, right, and they're basically twisting it. Why? Because nobody wants to see the traditional Black America. The Black America that we know and love, that built this country, that built the world, that freed Africa. There will be no South Africa without that Black community in America. Let me say that again. There will be no South Africa without the Black community in America. South Africa Park Line would last another 30 years, you know, without the Black people in America. You know, all the stuff you see in Africa and everything, it was Black people from America, Black institutions in America that educated the heads of state of every African country that came here and fellowship with us in brotherhood. And we're going to continue that. You know, we're not going to let this FBA, ADOS nonsense and everything divide us. So that's what they want to do. They want to isolate Black America, right? Turn all our brothers and sisters in the diaspora against us and everything. So we're just sitting here with broken communities, broken families, broken everything like that, and everything go ahead. We just sit back and just die. That's not going to happen. Not under my watch. You know.
Also, there is you know, Dinah's the 19 Black families that put their money together and trying to build a community in Georgia.
In Georgia. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's going on with it.
They're trying to build communities. They put their money together, and they're building some Altoona, Georgia, somewhere.
No, it's right outside of Griffin, Georgia. It's like an hour and a half south of Atlanta. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what's came from it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything else about it. But
people say we want to build a community, but when the reality of who shows up, that's what happens. You know, it's when certain people show up, you're like, this is not what I want to have played. Because like I said, you only got one chance. You talk about building a house, right? You're putting your blood into it, right? And when the wrong people show up, like, yeah, we're gonna turn this up. You're like, let me go over here. You know, so like I said, these social media platforms are a good way of vetting people. Not saying all people are bad, but you know, the bedrock of the community, right? I always say like this, right? We always have people who live outside the bounds. We need the strong Black family at the core, and we need those Black power couples. You know, there was a Black power couple in Chicago. They back a decade ago, right? Remember they said they made a point of every month going to shop in the Black community, right? I never forget this, right? Look it up online. There was a Black couple, right? Educated, MBAs, everything. They said we're gonna go and shop in the Black community, right? And be a leader.
Oh, Megan Anderson. That's Megan Anderson in Chicago. I remember that.
Yeah, Chicago. Okay. But the thing is, you saw the blowback they got. That's being racist.
Yep.
That's not what Martin Luther King fought for. I mean, this is what we're talking about. They're using Martin Luther King and all the people against us. She said, no, we're building it. And she said, no, that's racism. That's what if white people say we're going to shop in the white community, you know? See, this is see the mind games we had. See a couple of generations, they wouldn't even told us that because we weren't around them like that. We bought into the America. We thought that America would understand, okay, we integrated America, but we still got to take care of our communities and our basic needs. That's not part of the game plan. The game plan is you come over here to America, you be American, and forget you're black. And so forget the fact that if you live in the state, I remember back in the day, there was when in the height of David Duke's rise in the late 80s, in the early 90s, right? Black people were getting a little bit of crumb of
in the state, I remember back in the day. Hold on. Hey, Black Line, you gotta turn off the playback, brother.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that.
Okay. Check it out. Black people were getting what we call minority set-asides, right? There's a minority. It's not even black, minority. Because white men were using their women. It was like women and minorities, right? So white men were using their wives to get minority set-aside contracts, right? Anyway, black men were trying to get contracts, right, in places like Pittsburgh. And it was a black company that built the stadium in Pittsburgh, too. You know, people don't realize that, you know. Places like Atlanta and all the places like that. We were like saying, look, we want these contracts. So in other words, we were basically saying, you know something? Crumbs are not enough. Your crumbs are not enough. We want a piece of the pie, you know? And so therefore we wanted to, okay, we said minority set-asides, everything. Black people, companies had to do business with black vendors and suppliers and everything, you know, as part of a program. They didn't even want to do that. We have, a lot of us game. The Ford Fusion is a black man company in Michigan, who has a plant that was making seats for the Ford Fusion. You know, that was part of the minority set-aside, helping black business. Then they were advertising black magazines. And so think about what I'm about to say. They were advertising black magazines. Look at what we're giving back to the black community and everything. Okay, we would always showcase it. You knew about it. You know, this black man got a factory. He's old in this. He's putting people to work. Jesse Jackson his family got a Coca-Cola plant. You know, stuff like that. Minority set-aside and everything. And that was good. But along comes David Duke and says, even though the reason why black people are locked out is because white people control everything. They control all the supply chain. They control everything. So getting black people in the door. Now it's a little different. We have black people in positions of power, you know, that could basically, like, say this, like Maynard Harold Washington, right? He said, look, you know, you want the contracts in your head. You better start hiring black pavings and stuff like that, subcontractors, everything like that. So it worked out. And same thing with Marion Barry. You know, Marion Barry, he went to bat for black people in D.C. Made sure we got contracts, we got jobs, everything like that, right? All them type of black men are now gone in Black America because we're now not part Black America anymore. We're POC. We're people of color. You know.
Let's say it again. We're what color? We're what?
We're POC. We're people of color. You know.
Oh,
now
God.
anybody could come in and just whatever was for Black America, right? Or for everybody now. It's a free for all. You could be from Taiwan, never been discriminated in your life, but you come over here and you get special dibs in colleges. You get all the stuff like that under affirmative action and set aside, minority set aside. So therefore, we do not have that thing anymore because we didn't fight for our identity, you know, as black people, Black America. Now, that's not being ADOS and everything like that. I don't believe in that. But that one point, they do have a point. But what ADOS does is they use that to attack other black people, right? Other black people. Not knowing the fact that a lot of these black people
Hold on, Carl. What are we again? What are we?
We are POC. We're people of color, you know. We're not black, you know.
Oh,
and every
dear.
time I say, "Oh, we're minorities. We're people of color," you know. We're not black anymore. So how can you call me? I'm black power, black people power. When you get down to negotiation, we're all people of color. Now, what I'm hearing now is they're talking about reparations. They're talking about giving all the people of color reparations, right? They didn't go through slavery, right? But because they're people of color, they're joining in the Kumbaya festival and everything, you know? It's a joke. Either it's like this. Either we have to reclaim our black identity as African Americans, descendants of African American slaves, everything like what our identity is, or we're going to perish. We need to build a black family. We said we need to build a black family and build black communities, right? That's what we want. That's what's going to keep us safe, right? Because when we start building black communities, we're going to control them. Everything in those communities, have police, resources, everything. We're going to give the Pookies and the Ray Rays direction in life, right? This is what you can do. See, Mr. Such and Such, he's a successful businessman. You could do this too. But our culture has to change. We have to reject the culture that they're imposing. Like I told you about the Fresh Prince, right? This is not any accident. They want dysfunction in the black community, so we're weak. If Black America got this wake up, well, we could take over this country. We don't have to say here, hey, we could take both political parties over. We could take this whole country over if we wanted to. They know that. But we choose to act powerless and help.
Okay, we got a caller on. Go ahead, Black Line.
No, let him finish. I want to hear. Let him finish real quick.
No, I'm just saying I was finished. I said, look, if we wanted to, right? If Black America really wanted to, right, we could take control over Georgia, and we could take control over South Carolina. We could take control over North Carolina. We could take control over all these other states and be unapologetic about it. And I'm at the point right now, you know, my anger, like I said, I was boiling with anger. I was in my office. I couldn't even think today. I'm thinking about the fact that in Southern Georgia, when that lady got lynched back in 1911, right? They killed her and lynched her, right? And I'm saying that's the same area Ahmaud Arbery was killed, right? And the whole thing is, and they'll say now in the same area, they got a nuclear power plant making Black people sick. The reason why that happens and whatnot is because they rule us by fear. As soon as we get rid of that fear of them, right? They say, look, oh, well, I'm like this. We should have said them, look, in the 2020, and say, look, if you say Donald Trump's racist, let's elect him and see what's going to happen. You know, let's say if Donald Trump ever put his hand against Black America, we're going to show you what's going to happen. See, the bottom line is they come in, take all the power that should be ours, right? And they're going to say, we're going to protect you, good Black people. Just put us liberals, white people in power and everything. We don't get nothing out of it, but their protection. No, and you got strong, big, strapping Black men acting like they're little sissies and whatnot, you know? The bottom line is we need Black men to stand up like men, right? If we wanted to, we could take this country over, we could take Africa over, we could take anything. We're in a good position because we got nothing to lose. Go ahead, Black Lives.
Oh no, thank you for writing to the show. But Mr. Collie Dennis, you're 150% correct. And the sad part is, I would like to add to your statement about that because, like, the sad reality is, we got to talk about the suburbs and everything. I'm a 20-year-old Black African American in California, and believe me, a lot of African Americans out here are leaving the state in droves. I'm trying to get the hell out of here as soon as possible too. And the sad part is, it's kind of I'll add to what you were saying. The sad part is, in the African American neighborhoods in California, particularly, a lot of our elders failed because a lot of them did not build businesses. They didn't buy housing. They didn't build no form establishments. They didn't build no schools. Nothing. And my generation, we're all suffering because of this. We're going through gentrification. We're going through unemployment. We're going through so much crime. It's because, in a way, besides the white racism, the Black people who like my family who migrate over here, a lot of Black people did not build anything for us to later on future. And so, and the thing is, I'm talking to a lot of African Americans in California like me. We're in all of us are in the same boat of the same issue. And a lot of us are leaving in droves because you guys build nothing for us. We will literally have to find our own jobs, have to find our own housing. We have nothing here to settle on. And now we're paying for the consequences, especially with the big immigration issue. So they're kicking us out. And a lot of people say, we're done. There's nothing here for us. We got no advantage in the state whatsoever. So I'm constantly looking at other Black states like Texas or Georgia or North Carolina, where we got better advantages. Why? Because a lot of people in the South, for example, kept not only the culture, but also the economic and businesses and the housing over there. A lot more efficient than California ever did. So that's why people thought this big verse for migration. Yeah, because they actually care about the racial and generational power over in the South. But a lot of African Americans got to understand about the South too. If this gentrification happens and this economic collapses, you won't have no choice but to go back to Africa or the Caribbean if the gentrification goes too far in this country.
Did you see? Hold on, let me say. Did you see Dynastis thing? Neighborhood went from like what you say, 40,000 now to $1 million for a property.
House right now is under contract for $900,000.
God, there's no way.
I bought my home in 2014 in the same neighborhood for $185,000.
That was genius. That was very smart.
But Black Lion. But listen. When I first moved to my neighborhood, Black folk, diners don't move over there. It's the trap. It's the hood. Don't do it. Go to the suburbs.
No. I was told the same things. I was told the same things. I was raised in the suburbs, and that's what I want to be around because I was never raised in the hood and everything. So everything was kind of foreign to me. It's like, let me just check this out because I don't know about the hood or economics or real estate like that as I do now. It's kind of ridiculous.
Check this out, Black Lion. Let me say something. Do you know that black homeowners ship right now wealth is underestimated by $400 billion, right? It's always 400 billion. You ever notice that? Somebody should just cut a check $400 billion and be done with it. Everything was comes to 400 billion. In other words, basically undervalued by $400 billion. That means black people who have homes, right? Because everything goes by your resale. The resale. That's what real estate is, resale.
Yeah.
A lot of times a black person can't sell their home unless they have white people pretending to be the homeowners, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's like this. So the bottom line is this: what you have in Black America, right, is nobody is betting on the black. Now, for a time, we were doing good during the Cosby era and the Fresh Prince era and everything like that. And like people like, okay, I'll give it. You have white people say, you know, something. I wouldn't mind living in a black neighborhood or whatever, diversity and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be hard for us to find. Don't say that white people now, you know, because the image of Black America was different back then. You know, the Michael Jackson generated back in the 80s and stuff like that. You had a different Black America. You know, now comes the hood, the trap, and everything, and you have places like Compton went all to hell, all hell. Compton should be a thriving suburb right now. Yeah. And the Mexicans are coming out there saying, you know, something, we're going to, you know, clean it up. I hate that when the Mexicans saying, moving black people out of Compton, saying black people turn the Compton ghetto. Black people want to build it.
Oh, no, I'm from the Valley. The Hispanic community, they destroyed it. They cannot talk. They destroyed it. I'm from the Valley. They destroyed it all.
So all these communities out there, that were once thriving, you know, Palm Beach, Florida, right? Once thriving community and everything. Yeah. And people, when you say stuff like this, people get upset when I say something, but it's the truth of the truth, you know. Yes. You know, Palm Beach, Florida, you know, once nice houses right now. Now it's crack and death and destruction, everything. People don't want to live around that. You want a good quality of life and everything. So
I agree.
And so, like I said, the suburbs, right? What white people are doing is this, right? They see your, and we can't really be yourself, right? You can't be yourself. Yeah. You can't, you know? So you got to go into white suburbs, right? And hee, ha, and everything like that, right? They know, and you ain't got no place to go. You know? You ever hear it's called the you ain't got no place to go, nigga. But like this, the white guy.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
He's like, yo, what up, man? What up, man? When you're driving your neighborhood, right? He's saying, look at that fine black man. He knows, and you know, you ain't got no place to go. You know, and he's like, he's one. You're in his domain. You're in his dominion. You're in his domain. You got no place to go. Because he knows, I know, you know, when you both turn on the 6 o'clock news, right? Just like in what you call in Norfolk and everything like that. I don't have a 6 o'clock. I have the push app. 2 people shot on Brambleton Street. I'm like this. Anytime right now when I'm doing the show, another notification is gonna pop up about somebody getting shot in Hampton, Newport News, everything, right? Yeah. The white guys looking at that, and I'm looking at that, right? So who's in a position of power? I'm in no position of power because I have no base to go back to. This is why the Pan-African, the Black national movement is so exceptional. It's important, right? This is why my brother Mark Blanton, right? He lived in a nice city in Culpeper, Virginia, suburbs, everything. His wife's a doctor, everything. Why is he in South Africa right now? Because he didn't want to play that game anymore.
No, you know? I agree. I heavily agree. It's real quick, and it's funny you mention that because it's the sad part for me. Like I think we talked about this like a couple months ago. Like I said, I see the end game in this country because no matter where we. Because the thing is, like at first, I agree with you. Is like I want to be around my own, but at the same time, I don't want to be in the hood either. That's my thing. It's like no,
and that's why the repatriation movement. When we really do get real investors and whatnot, it's going to boom because there's going to be a lot of people like, yo, you're building a smart city over here and whatnot. I can port my money up. I can work from remote and everything like that. I can bring my company over there. It's going to be, trust me, people think this Pan-African move is going to go away. It's not. It's not.
God. It's needed more than ever.
It's going to grow.
I got real quick. I got to make a disclaimer real quick. I'm sorry. The views and opinions of Kala and Black Lion are not the views and opinions. You know, the guests are not the views and opinions of In Search of Uhuru, Prince Dynasty Mirror. All right, go ahead.
Oh no, trust me. I was literally talking to a lot of African Americans online, especially in person. A lot of them are literally saying the same thing because a lot of like, I started asking questions like, why are Hispanics and other ethnic groups doing better here in California? What the hell's going on here? But then a lot of started talking to our parents and elders and started learning the history over here. They pretty much re-gentrified California like they did in the 90s, and they're doing it now in modern times. And so a lot of us like, so where the hell can we go from here? A lot of people now start going to Vegas, Texas, Georgia. It's like, damn, people say I'm ready to go anywhere at this point. But for me, honestly, I think we talked about this months ago. I'm really considering moving to the continent because I'm more focused on the end game. Because I'm sick of gentrification. I'm sick of being suburbs turning to the hood. I'm sick of
you're just running. Oh, you're running.
Housing.
You know, we're just all we are is running. You know, we're just running. We build a community and whatnot. It's just a matter of time. Like I didn't mean to put out Maryland out there because I know Negroes. What we got nice black communities in Maryland, and they're gonna bum rush those neighborhoods in Maryland when that's gonna be the end of it. You know, just like the Soto, Texas. Black people middle class in Soto, Texas, best kept secret in the world.
Exactly.
Negroes moving out from Dallas to DeSoto, and that's gonna be that's the end of it, you know. And the bottom is a vicious cycle of we try to build something black and everything. You're not safe and everything. The only thing's gonna keep us safe is we have to build our own communities outside of America and worldwide, and basically only let certain people in and stuff like that. The people that could afford and everything. As long as you have this system in America where they cater to single moms, broken homes, and Negro dysfunction and everything like that, like this, you know. Long as you have this, and also long as we celebrate crime and mediocrity and everything, it's going to be like that. No black community is going to be safe. You know, no black community is going to be safe. You know,
exactly. No, you're absolutely right. Because the sad part, because the thing is, I was thinking about this like not too long ago. I was like, where the hell can I go where I don't have to worry about gentrification, all this and this? Because I remember one time, Daniels was talking to, I think the elder brother from Sierra Leone. He was wearing a lion's necklace. And when he was on the trip to Sierra Leone, they're talking at a Sierra Leone restaurant. And one thing what that elder said that really got to me and spoke to me is when he said, we have to accept the fact that the African mindset and the European mindset are two different mindsets. And that alone made my mindset do a whole 360. So I started looking at Africa and other parts of the continent and about housing. I never seen so much beautiful housing and decent property unless you're rich and white in California. And I was even show my mother and some of my friends about this. It's like the place in Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa,
Gambia. People building nice houses, man.
Exactly.
Like now, the whole thing is what we have to do is this, right? We have to basically put things on the table to American companies. Like, look, if you want dollars on that, we want you to invest over here, you know, because the bottom of that'll be the game changer right there. But U.S. companies don't invest in Africa at all. You know, there's no real stuff like that. So we consume. Black America is our biggest consumer group in America.
Yes, we
haven't leveraged that power to say, yo, look, you know, why aren't you building industries over here and everything? You know, we haven't done that. We have not done that because the people that's out in front of us, like the roly-poly Martins and all these other people, right? The only thing they're thinking about is how to stop Herschel Walker from getting the Senate seat in Georgia. That's so important, you know. We're not talking on this level right here. How can we build something from our communities and everything? What are these communities giving back and everything? I talked about last week on the show. I said when the brother said he worked down in Huntsville, Alabama, Lockheed Martin, when he was part of that lawsuit thing, that Supreme Court. Yeah. White people are well taken care of. When they get ready to build military equipment and everything, there's some white boy that's entry level, right out of high school, whatever like that, is going to get a job off the $28 an hour, right? He's living with his parents. He's going to save that money for 5 years, go to college and everything. And you look at how did he do it? He had a head start. We don't get those sort of breaks. Why? Because we don't ask. Our congressional districts look like hells on earth. How can you have a congressional district where you have nothing? Gary, Indiana. Who's a congressional delegate from Gary, Indiana? He ought to be taken out with a stick and beaten, you know?
Exactly.
Guys, you're muted, Nice.
Yeah, well, we can't beat folks. We can't beat people.
Figuratively, It's not physically, right? But just talking to you know, we're gonna talk to you. You have been in Congress wherever you guys are for decades, right? And your communities look like shambles. But Newt Gingrich was in Congress where that he brought home the bacon to his district, right? All these big factories and everything like that, people pumping billions of dollars worth of stuff like that. All these congressmen bring back jobs and everything to their district. Black congressmen don't have to do that. Why? Because they're selected to be there. And you can't remove them from power because, you don't want a Republican, do you? So therefore, we have no political power on the federal level in this country. We have none. We have none. We have nothing. We have
Exactly.
nothing. So,
Exactly.
so therefore, all those things that could have been building Black America for the last 30, 40 years has not happened. You know, so
Yeah.
it's unfair to call Black people accountable for something that they didn't have any power over. You know,
Yes.
it's not our fault that all these companies in Gary, Indiana, Pittsburgh, and everything left and went to China. It's not our fault. You know, it's not our fault. You asked us to be Americans, right? So we take it that we're electing you to do the best, what's in our best interest. They gave us NAFTA. NAFTA created a whole generation of people who were jobless and didn't have we're not in the industrial workforce. You know, the next generation didn't inherit those industrial jobs and everything. They went to Mexico. They went to China. You know, I don't know if it was done deliberately or what. You know, go ahead, Dennis. You're muted, Dennis.
I know. Go ahead. I'm just listening.
Yeah. So therefore, so this is what I'm talking about. So therefore, if those things didn't happen, right, and we're calling ourselves Americans, we're like fools calling ourselves Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we say that we're going to be American. We cast our bucket down. We're just going to be Americans, right? And so therefore, okay, we're Americans, but we got no jobs. We got no future. Our kids need education. Our kids need better schools.
Yeah.
All stuff like this. And you basically do everything you can to gut our education and give us inferior schools in the inner city and everything. Take away they used to have vocational stuff in schools. Umar Johnson talked about this. They took that away. Why? You know, all boys we used to have this in New York, right? In New York, boatsies, right? You learned the industrial trade while you was in high school, right? And if you can get out there, get a good job, and then go to college if you want to on top of that and become whatever.
Exactly.
All those industrial art schools and everything like that, they took them away. And what do they talk about in school nowadays? They're trying to teach you that Billy and Bob or Sally got two daddies and all this kind of stupid stuff, brainwashing. And the people brainwashing and indoctrination or leftist Marxist stuff, nonsense, and everything, that's more important than giving people things. This is why you have these people here on this generation out here don't know what it wants, right? They don't know whether they're a boy or girl. They don't know whether they're a man or woman. They don't know whether they're cat or dog, whatever. And this is what you have. This is what you have. And this is what we basically said that we want to integrate into. This is what we said we wanted to do better. We wonder why we don't have communities to build. We don't have communities to build to purchase houses and build anything. It's because this is what we asked for.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree. And before you mention that, because like what we don't do anymore, because that's why I kind of said last time is like I'm only going to be around Black people who actually want to build and nothing more. Because the sad part is we don't have the unification, and we don't have the same mindset as we did back in the 60s. So personally, I kind of gave up on a huge amount of Black community in a way because it's like we all just in one big fat plantation. Nobody wants to do anything. We're not at least fighting to stop the gentrification as a unit. It's like, okay, let's turn the hood into a decent suburb, something decent. We're not at least trying to do that, or at least fight the gentrification anymore. We really just wait until something happens, and next thing you know,
our community is about complaining about stuff when it happens, right?
Yeah,
when it happens, we got something to complain about. If it doesn't happen, we have nothing to complain. We sit around being bored, right?
Yes.
Nobody's serious. The only people that's serious that's doing something are the Pan-Africans, that are making moves like Dynasty and me, myself, and several other people, and just making moves and everything. Saying we see the future, Think about what the Dynasty is doing, right? Bomani Tamba and everybody else is doing, and they're building links and everything. We don't see it now, but 10 years from now, man, it's gonna be like, whoa. It's gonna be like normal. We're building bridges across seas. We're gonna have a base on the African continent. We're gonna be able to have industries. We might even have our own stock exchange built one day on the continent. Yes. And so the bottom line, that's a future. That's infinite possibility, right? It's a possibility. So if you don't feel it in America no more, you have an option. The same thing to Jews. The Jews, when they get tired of America, they got Israel. When the Mexicans get tired of America, they got Mexico. Right now, in the talk thing, so you ain't doing shit. Okay. Just because I'm not on YouTube don't mean I'm not doing shit. Ellis, it has been. Okay. Just keep thinking that. That's not like I like when people think I'm not doing nothing, right? Just stay in because you ain't gonna whatever, So anyway, the bottom line is this. If we have we're building and we're doing things outside the confines of the borders of America and stuff, we're going to be future, because then you could probably live in the hood and basically have a peace of mind, right? Because I know a lot of people that live in the hood, right, and say, okay, I'm dealing with like that, but I don't want to move into a white suburb. They really don't. There's a lot of people that don't want to move into a white suburb, and they're like, I don't care, I'll live here. And then when shit happens and whatnot, they're like, when it finally bottoms out or not, car got broken into for the last time or not, they late for work because they got to call work because car got shot up the night before and everything like that. And, oh my God. Or something happens on the block and also when they go to refinance the house, man, they're like, no, sorry, we can't do this and everything. The houses that they own is in the negative. You know, you got black homes that are in the negative. You know,
I've been hearing about that.
Negative. They owe more on the house. They had a mortgage. They've been paying a mortgage for 30 years, but their house is still in the negative. You know, you know, they have no equity.
I've been hearing about that recently.
Because why? Because where you live at, and everything is perception. As long as people perceive your community as dirty, let me give you another example. Right, services, and a lot of people like in Hampton, Virginia, right, and I never forget this, right. One time I went over to Hampton, Virginia, right? Dropped a friend of mine off at the train station, right? I forgot to get gas, right? I forgot to get gas. It was late at night. I forgot to get gas, right? Oh my God, I was fucking scared. Every gas station was closed at 11 o'clock. Not one 7-Eleven. I'm like, oh my God, my thing is sucking fumes, right? So finally I said like this, I made it to this place on Kickerton, the gas in the white area, and the gas station was open. And I get out of my car, motherfuck. I'm like, motherfuck. Excuse my language. Mother F. Why? I said, why the F? Every time you go to a black area, there's not any goddamn thing open and whatnot. I'm just cursing out in the air and everybody look at me like I'm crazy. I'm sick of this shit, you know? But the bottom line, people look at me like, hey, it ain't our fault, you know? Nobody wants to stay open. And I'm saying like the black area wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even that bad, but they close the 7-Eleven, close and stuff like that at night or not, right? And the community, anybody in the community that need a loaf of bread or milk and everything can't go to a store. They got to drive all the way over to the white area to get service at a certain time of night. And in Virginia Beach, some of the stores stay open 24 hours. You know, same thing with Chesapeake. You can walk in 2 o'clock in the morning at Harris Teeter. Hey, let me get this and whatnot, you know. But the bottom line in the black area, when you live in a black area, it's an unwritten rule. As a matter of fact, and I hate to put this out there, right? In Berkeley, historic black area in Norfolk, right? And they had let me not go there. Let me not go there. I don't want to. Let me not go there. Another topic. Go ahead, Black Lion. Let me go ahead.
No, fine. I completely understand your example. I'm at this point in the game. This is kind of what Mr. Dr. Clark Anson was predicting about, and the sad part is, I think a lot of my people in my generation, we didn't realize how much the cost of how much integration cost us as a community. We didn't realize until now, because now a lot of Americans, why we had this conversation, we have nowhere to go. If we lose the South, we're literally screwed in this country, and our elders are not as active as they were back in the 60s and everything. They just submitted or gave up, because it sounds like they want to integrate more than anything else. And now a lot of us are paying the price.
Let me tell you about Alabama. Let me tell you about a case study, Alabama, right?
Go ahead.
Birmingham, Alabama. The white folks say, we want to form our own city. Guess who blocked it? Negroes. Y'all ain't going away from us. White people built a new school and everything like that. And all you hear when these black people talk about is old civil rights clown, right? I should be talking about my elders like that, but he was basically saying, no, man, that's white people, black people and white people need to be in school together, because that smacks of segregation, We're going backward. The white people only say, look, this is our area. We want to succeed from Birmingham and build our own community. Same thing what's going on in Atlanta right now. White people out there are trying to succeed and be like, okay, y'all can have Atlanta, right? Dinas knows about this, And so therefore they want to succeed. Black people are like, no.
Buckhead.
Yeah,
the Buckhead issue. I've been there about. Yeah, I've been watching that.
Yeah, so black people are saying, something.
Colin, it's the same. It's the same thing here in Atlanta. Like, the white people want to leave, and black people are like, no, you can't leave. And it's just like, well, if Atlanta's the black Mecca, let them go.
Why do you care? Why do you care?
Why do you care?
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, no, I know, and that's what's scary. If I like,
no. And Colin, my bad to interject. This is the reason why they don't want them to go. It has to do with the tax dollars. They don't want to use that
Tax
tax
dollars.
revenue.
Now, you telling me you can't build black businesses and bring, like Maynard Jackson showed you could do it. Maynard, what happened to that, Dinas? Maynard Jackson showed that you could bring businesses here and build a tax base and municipal bond, everything like that, and pay your municipality, build your municipal bond, everything, and create a black middle class, with stocks, bonds, all that stuff like that. He showed you could do it. But this generation of black people now are not Keisha bottoms. It's bottomed out, all right. Atlanta's bottomed out, and it is what it is. Because why? Because we haven't grown up. We're still children in our mind. White people are like this. They're tired of us. They're tired of our crime. They're tired of everything we stand for and everything. Everybody, black immigrants are tired of black America. They're tired of black America's excuses. We're tired of cuddling for the bad element in our community and everything, instead of putting our foot down, saying this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do this and everything. If you don't like it, this is the way it is. We don't want to do that.
Oh no, I agree. And it's funny you mentioned Alabama. If I was looking at other states of that we least likely to go, and I happen to see videos and look around Tuskegee, Alabama, where Booker T. Washington originally lived at, and it was amazing personally when I saw how I read the stories how he built the HBCU up literally from the ground up, and that was pretty inspiring. And I was wondering, like, why can we build more like this around the South?
Him and George Washington Carver, and then after you get done, Marcus is on. But him and George Washington Carver built it from the ground up.
Yeah. And that was very inspiring. When I saw it, I was really amazed. Like, I can't just go there just my casual outfit. I gotta go I gotta look dignified going to that area. But the sad part is, but that's what I'm pretty much looking into, is like there's a good black population, good HBCU and everything else, but that's kind of old school mindset. But the sad part, like I said, we gave, like you correct, Colin, we gave up more than we thought we did just for integration. Because now we'll shoot ourselves in the foot at the minute white people want to leave us.
Yeah. If they go to Mars, we're gonna be right there.
Yeah, go ahead, Marcus.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Dinas, man? I've been watching you for about a year now, man. Appreciate all you do, brother. Try to follow your footsteps, young brother. Hey, I'm just calling in just to say that I'm practicing a code that I'm trying to develop with me and my black people, using our ancestors that came before us, like Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey. We can all use these guys' example, and not, try to fit everybody into one box. But what I'm talking about with my code is, that Jews have a code. It's based on their religion and their blood and their ancestry, right? Hispanics have a code based on their religion and their history and their background. We don't share that with each other. We haven't ritualized our experience here and tied it to our ancestry back in Africa. I had a discussion with an adults, or fundamentally whatever they call themselves, and I asked them, I said, brother, I'm not going to argue with you about dealing with Africans or not. Believe it or not, you're African. Even if you say that you were here originally, you're African, right? We have to deal with each other. So I said, well, if I go to Africa and become the wholesaler, will you be the retailer here? And I can ship my goods here and you can produce them. He told me, I'm not dealing with Africans. And I said, dude, you don't understand power. You giving up your power just saying, I want this guy or these people who treated my people bad, who never gave me a reason or a hand up to be equal. The reason I told a white guy this one time, the reason why we're in the situation that we in than we were in Africa, eventually as a slave in Africa, I would have been part of the tribe eventually. Here, you never made me part of the tribe. You brought everybody else into the tribe. You brought Jews in, you brought Italians in, and then now you bring in the Indians and the Orientals in. Right. So you never made me part of the family. So I have to create my own code of conduct. When somebody's out here doing something niggerish, and they under this code, when they see you coming, they're straighten up. It's kind of like masonry. You know what I mean? When somebody's not being on the square, and they can step to you and say, "Hey, brother, what you doing?" So we don't have that with each other.
Hey, brother Marcus, Mark, let me ask you one thing. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, right? Here's the thing, though, right? We used to have that, right? But somebody else had another idea for us, right? It was called the hood. And look at. Are you a Generation X? Are you Gen X?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you understood. You were there when this took a turn, right?
Yes.
Remember back in the there was a big switch up back in the mid '90s where Heather B was out. Remember Heather B was out?
Yeah.
Remember she said 5 o'clock in the morning, right?
Where you going? Yeah.
Where you gonna be, right? But yet, guess who came out and said, you know something, man, I ain't trying to hear that, man. Luke Campbell said, yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm out here hustling and whatnot, you know? And so therefore, we as our generation, right? I saw the change overnight. We had J. Rue the Damager, right?
Yeah.
We had all these people, 12 grave diggers, 12 o'clock, you know, brand newbie, all these people, right?
Yeah.
They just disappeared.
Yeah.
And the culture changed to gangster this, thug this. It's all about the Benjamins, all the stuff like that. We saw the culture change, and we didn't do anything about it, right? We didn't do anything about it. And why? Because they called us what? Player haters, right? They called you what? Player haters. You remember them days, brother?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember vividly, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to be righteous, poor righteous teachers.
Yeah.
I was in the 5%ers or like that. All that seemed corny. And you want to popping bottles, popping Cristal, talk about getting your hustle on and everything like that, or being Big Willie, a Big Bologna, and everything like that. You were a cornball, a clown, everything.
But you know what changed, brother? What changed was the fact that white people couldn't participate in hip hop with it being without the partying aspect.
Right. That's exactly. Remember,
they couldn't participate in the Black Power.
Right. Remember when Heavy D made that song Black Coffee,
no cream? Yeah.
Remember that? You know what I'm talking about, brother.
Yes. Yeah.
They played on MTV, right? These white people were sitting there like
they don't know what that is, and they couldn't identify with it.
Yeah. So therefore they're like, I know. I'm like this. I did a thing right in my head. I said, I could imagine Puff Daddy at a Puff Daddy time at a board meeting. Yeah. Yo, people don't want to hear all that black stuff. This is what they want to hear. You know, I just want to make you dance. You know, like good. I can imagine him saying, "That's what we want, and that's what we're gonna put out there." As you know, and no time for fake niggas. I'm gonna sip some champagne with some real niggas. You know, Death to all player haters. 1994, Death to all player haters. Whatnot, you know? It was like all this freaking stupid shit. You know, then Nas, right? Nas, I never really liked Nas, but even though my uncle and my uncle and Nas's father played in the same band, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My uncle lived in Queensbridge. He lived in the same building as Nas, and he said Nas, man, was an introvert. He said that guy never did nothing. He got to stay in his apartment all the time, you know. He said Nas was a nerd. You know, that's what my uncle told me. He said, yeah, I know Nas, man. He grew up in my building, you know. Now my uncle, they got a nice house in Long Island. I just lost. Matter of fact, I lost my baby cousin, the oldest daughter, Aisha, 2 months ago in a car crash in Long Island. That was back in January, you know. So I lost her one night. That's my uncle. Anyway, he has a band, right? And he used to play with Nas's late father, or Maury, whatever his name is, you know. He used to play with Nas's father. But the whole thing is the whole culture change. I was disappointed in Nas when he made his second thing, you know, the culture change, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody went from righteousness and AZ. Now everybody wants to celebrate AZ, right?
Yeah.
But AZ was saying this, AZ was a lyrical genius, you know. But the thing is, he said, something got in us because we all went for we started as 5%, but something must have got in us because we all turned to sinners, you know. So the bottom line, all the righteous teachers of the 5% Nation and Clarence X and Elijah Muhammad, all the stuff like that was gone.
Yeah.
It was gone. We sold out for the almighty dollar. It was all about the Benjamins. And we're paying the price for it now because we knew there was gangster rap and everything in Compton and everything. But New York was like the Garden of Eden. This is where hip-hop culture flourished. Nobody wanted to hear from KRS-One. He looked awkward with his boogie down production and the graffiti in the background. They took that away, right? The background graffiti, hip hop having fun, right? So
Yep.
now you got to be at the Parker Meridian. You got to be having, you know what I'm talking about, bro. You got to be at the Parker. You know exactly what I'm talking about, man. You know how you felt when this was going on. You had to be
I was kind of
112, the players dwell. We felt awkward. Back in '94, we were broke as hell. What the hell are we talking about getting the Benjamins, man? I made $100 goddamn a week back then. Talking about getting all the Benjamins, you know?
It was $4.
You know what I'm talking about? The bottom line, and to this day, right? We never had that confrontation. We got to have that conversation. All these rappers right here, they sold us the fuck out. They're race traders. They sold us the fuck out. And it's time to deal with that shit, you know? And the bottom line, we could deal with it from a position of strength now. Because as more and more people come onto our side about building Black America, we're going to tell you, we're going to make you people with your billion. We're going to tell Snoop and all the people, we don't care if you got $300 million in the bank. You ain't shit to us.
I'm going to tell you something. The best thing that can happen is when Dynas and you guys put out the videos of what's going on and what you're doing over there. And once they see, now you see, the John Sally's and the Rick Rosses and whatnot, they over there investing in land over there. Mostly what they're trying to invest in is growing marijuana.
Yeah, that bottom line, we're not gonna let them come over to Africa with their stupidity. It ain't that easy. You can't buy salvation. We don't want your nonsense on the continent because it's not gonna fly because Afrobeats is taking over the world.
Yeah,
that's my line.
Now you see,
Afrobeats is taking. When I was over there, all I heard was Afrobeats.
Is that what Jim Jones doing now? Afrobeats?
I don't know what
Jim Jones ain't doing no Afro.
Afrobeats is
rapping.
Afrobeats is a combination of hip hop, reggae, reggaeton, and techno. And it's I'm gonna tell you right now, when you're out and about in Liberia, Africa, wherever, you hear on the radio, you hear on the streets and everything. It's a different vibe. It gives you a peaceful vibe. You the best music in the world. And look, it ain't talking this stupid nonsense as I talked at the beginning of the show, where people talk about I'm gonna kill this and everything. It's just good music, talking about women, girls, life, and everything like that. It's nice to hear music where Black men are talking about how they love women again. They ain't calling them bitches bees and hoes and everything. And so it shows you don't have to be negative to sell music. Afrobeats is taking over, man. Reggae is everybody. This music is taking over the world.
Those over here trying to start some record label, they need to go to Africa and start a record label.
Well, the major record labels are trying to go over there now. They're like, wow, they're selling out concerts.
Yes.
And they're like, wow, man. They got these up and coming artists over there. Like, oh my God, man.
Have you heard about the guys that's in a Komatsu?
Tell me about.
They pattern they style after Chicago style.
Komatsu
and all them. Yeah, they call them Komatsu, Americans, something like that. They call themselves the young cats. They call themselves Americans or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, but what we'll do, Colin, we'll start closing out, brother.
Hold on, let me ask you. I want my friend Roderick to call in, man. He's like, he said, Colin, you're afraid to shade it. Yeah, we understand the white man did that, right? But Dynas, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Listen, Colin. Everything Donald Trump fault and everything's the white man's fault.
Yeah, by white man's fault. That's because Roderick doesn't want to
everything. Donald Trump.
He don't want to man up and whatnot.
But but what we need to understand, brother, on that note about the politicians and what I would tell Democrats, because I've been voting Democrat all my damn life. The deal is you 90% vote in that party. We need to run it, and you need to take it over. And if you're not taking it over,
you're a generation. You're Gen X, right? Shouldn't our generation have been the ones that take over the Black Bloc of the Democratic Party?
We should have took it over.
We should take over. But we were beaten down politically, socially, economically with our culture and music and everything, right?
Yeah.
So the Generation X. Matter of fact, let me tell you something. It'll shock you, right? When I look at Ted Cruz, right? Even though I don't agree with him, but the only thing I like about Ted Cruz, he's a Gen X. You don't see no Gen X's and kinds of old ass people in there or some young millennials. A Gen X it just been obliterated out of politics and everything. Nobody takes our generation seriously.
No, I just recommend that, if start where we at. We are all predominant in the Democratic Party. It needs to be 50-50, but it's not. And I wish I could wave a wand and make that so.
If we can get 20%, if we can get 20%,
the only ones. They are 90%. We are 90% in a party. We should take it over.
Right. Bottom line, we should be setting the agenda. We should be take the shit. It's time to. We would have took the Democratic Party if we would have pulled the car under Joe Biden. If we would have pulled the car under Joe Biden and stayed home or didn't vote and didn't come out in that recall election in Georgia, black people will be in a position to say, you know something, Stacey Abrams, you know something, we're gonna take the party, or we think the party's gonna be ours. But they will not let that happen because they'll tell us they get the boogeyman, the orange man's gonna come and get you.
Yeah, but see, what you have to do is get somebody to do as much work as Stacey Abrams have done. And to remove her.
Oh, we don't have anybody. Position. We don't have anybody on that level.
That's what I'm saying.
We need a black power person that's all about black economics. Just like they're unapologetically about AOC, unapologetic about leftist people coming across the border and everything. We need to be unapologetic about building Black America up there and building Pan-African extended links and everything. That should be building Black America and building Africa and everything. If you want our votes and everything. Look, the state of Israel gets billions of dollars from United States, our tax dollars, right? The ambassador of United States on J.J. Roberts, the first president of Liberia's birthday yesterday, did a scathing op-ed criticizing Monroe. Said, "Do you think J. Roberts would be proud of what Liberia looked like today?" Does he say how United States is responsible for what Liberia is right now? And the bottom line, we have real political power. That dude will be recalled. How dare you say something like that when the United States is the one who orchestrated that coup in 1980? You know, and the problem you see in Liberia right now is directly because of its relationship with the United States. Yeah. So he gets up there. Oh, you guys expect foreigners to clean your streets or whatnot. Why don't you give Liberia the same time money you give Israel, and you'll see the country change overnight? True. But we don't have that power. That's what I want black power for. To help black countries, help Sierra Leone, I'm gonna say this, help Nigeria.
Let me say this, Don. I'm gonna let you go. I see you over there blinking like you about to pass out. But but I'm gonna say this. What we can do as Pan-Africanists, we can also create our own political action group. Now I'm gonna try to do this here where I'm at, and start picking our own politicians, man. Because all this hollering at what we should be doing, we need to just go on and do it. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna keep people posted on that.
We like to hear from it, brother.
All right, I'll be checking in. Thank you, Donis. I appreciate it, brother.
I love it. I love it. A Gen Xer, a fellow Gen Xer, man. I love it. Fellow Gen Xer.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we'll do, Black Line, anything else you'd like to share in closing?
Black Line.
Gotta mute yourself. Okay, I guess he. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. All right, go ahead, Colin. Close this out.
Okay, so I want to say what else about final remarks is, right? I think we covered it tonight. There are black communities in America, right? They're doing well, but they're not going to be doing well if we don't build. We got the question going forward is this. You said tonight, you showed that your neighborhood, which they told you was a hood, nobody wants anything to do with it. Because once a neighborhood gets a reputation, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, right? There's this area in Norfolk, Ocean View called Pretty Lake, right? It wasn't, when I first moved there, it wasn't a very pretty lake. It was crack alley after crack alley here and there, right? Like that. It was called Pretty Lake was not Pretty Lake. Crackheads, crack whores, everything out there, everything shooting, everything like that, black, white, whatever. It was just trash, right? If I show you this neighborhood now, right? Communities, houses, big houses, everything, little shopping centers, right? In the middle of the community and everything. And you see white people out there like, I was like, oh man, you live in, I was like, yeah, we love it here. We're from Wisconsin. I said, do you know that this neighborhood used to be? They're like, what? You see what I'm saying? So in other words, when they remake a neighborhood, right, they got to rebrand it. Now when you say Pretty Lake, right, oh, they got the marina right there. They got 2 marinas right there. It's on the water. They got all the stuff there. They got outdoor yacht clubs. They got parties and everything like that. It's white now. Of course, they got some black people that live out there, and everything. But what I'm saying is this, though. What we tried to build in America, this is a show for next time, Diane. We tried to build in America and it all fails. But when we built in Liberia, it still stands. The republic still stands. We built the republic and it still stands. Almost every community we built in America has got regentrified or eventually is going to be targeted. So I think the future is, yes, we need to have our own nation. We need to build our own nation. I'm sorry. I know some people don't understand that. They don't understand it. You're muted. They don't understand that, but I'm just looking at the prognosis. White people are not going to stop being racist and everything. The black criminal element and the dysfunction is not going to stop and everything. We need a new start. While we're here, let's build what we have in a Black America, right? And build pipelines to our new nation and what we're building on the African continent. That's the only way we're going to survive in the future. Because an America-only policy is not going to work. That's all I have to say tonight.
Absolutely. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Again, if you're interested in rolling to Sierra Leone with us, let me know. Go to donfo.africa. Again, donfo.africa. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Search for Huru. Also, Kali, your show is coming up in about 45 minutes.
Coming at 11 o'clock Eastern. Go to DeVilleRadio.com. Download the app and everything. My show will be on 11 o'clock tonight. You want to hear raw college Genesis and everything like you never hear them? Join us tonight on DeVilleRadio.com. www.DeVilleRadio.com, or download the app and put it on your phone and everything. Play it in your play state. You play in your car. On TuneIn. What's it? iTunes, TuneIn, Spotify. We're on Spotify. We're on TuneIn. And everything like that. So it's all across the board, streaming service. We're on all the major streaming services, So, but that, like I said, DeVille Radio, we're taking over the world. We got people, listeners all over the freaking planet. We're looking for Afrobeats now. Afrobeats is the hottest thing now. We're looking for Afrobeats. Somebody can do an Afrobeat show for 2 hours a week and everything like that. Broadcast throughout the world, stuff like that. So you let us know if you're if you're interested. When I get in touch with me. Also, if you want to be part of the College Genesis, the Black African Infrastructure Global Pipeline Organization, go to download the app and download the app on your app store at BAIO Global Pipeline on your app store or your Play Store. Right, download the app. Right, sign up for the social network and join us, and you can connect with Dynas, Brother Vamani, and all these other people that's doing great things on the continent. Our Liberia chapter, our Zambia chapter is booming, Ghana chapter, Kenya chapter. All these people are putting in work and everything on the ground. If you want to network with people on the continent and network with people in different states and everything, we're definitely a social network. And it's like having our own Facebook platform, so you can communicate back and forth just like Facebook. It's an app on your phone, Let me show it right now. Let me show you what the app looks like. I always keep meaning to do this, but I'm like, damn, I forgot to do this on Diane's show.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it has the app right there. App in the lower bar right there. Oh, back. What am I? Everything's going backwards. Okay, right there. Can you see it?
Click on the app and open it. Just click on the app and open it.
Right there. Can you see that? Hold up, Dennis. There's the app right there. The hell. There's the app right there. Go to your Play Store or Google Apps. BAIO Global Pipeline. That's BAIO Global Pipeline. This is a social network that you want to be part of if you're part of the Pan-African world, So join us and whatnot. We're glad to have you connect with people, join the family, join the revolution. Because this, like I said, this is not going anyplace, and this is what we're building. So thank you, Diane Samir, for having me, and I'll see you guys next week.
Hey, until next time, family, Diane Samir, Search for Huru. Peace.